activism begins with ACT. The Russ Belville Show features the stories of hardworking grassroots activists working for an end to prohibition in today's activist agenda.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show, 30 after the hour, and today I get to talk to two of my favorite people in the world on two different coasts at the same time. It's the miracle of technology. First, we've got Robert Platshorn, a.k.a. Bobby Tuna. Are you on the line, Bobby?
I'm here.
Fantastic. And we got Brad Lane, my friend out there on the West Coast. Can you hear me, Brad?
I can, Russell. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. All right, so let's start. I'm going to start with Robert on this call because I got the press release from him, and I'm like, oh, good, more stuff going on with the Silver Tour. And no, but folks should know the silvertour.org, definitely something you should check out. But no, this was something new about your association with Cannabis Planet TV and Brad's work. So, Robert, why don't you tell us how this got set up? What's going on here?
Well, first of all, I've been a big fan of Cannabis Planet for the whole time it was on. When I first came out of prison and went out on the road with my book, the first interview I did was for Cannabis Planet TV, and Brad and I just became very good friends and have stayed in touch for years. When I started putting Grandma on TV, Brad and I started talking about bringing Cannabis Planet back in a brand new edition and getting it on stations all over the country. And as you know, I'm an old pitchman, and I produced infomercials for years. And I was able to get TV time on a lot of stations that are now willing to show the cannabis television show. And so it made a really good partnership with Brad and I. And we premiere this weekend. Cannabis Planet is back.
That is fantastic. So we've got some questions coming in from our chat room as well. There was some folks asking about Cannabis Planet TV, that may not have heard of it before. So let me turn to Brad here, Brad Lane out there. Brad, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing wonderful, Russ. How about yourself? Thanks for having us on today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And for because one of my listeners here was talking about, I used to watch Cannabis Planet TV in the Bay Area, and they took it off. Are we going to get it back in the Bay Area? And I got some other L.A. area folks that said, oh yeah, didn't those guys try to do a NASCAR or something like that? So give people kind of a rundown of what Cannabis Planet TV was, and now where you're taking it.
Sure. Well, Cannabis Planet has always been an educational show, Russ. Our goal is to educate and inform people about the plant as an industrial resource, an agricultural crop, and of course a powerful, diverse medicine. We originally aired in 2009 in California. We started in Los Angeles, and the show quickly spread to the Bay Area and to San Diego and then to Sacramento. And we had Denver poison our sights. And we did 42 episodes. We were a weekly show. We did 3 seasons of work, 13 episodes per season. We would run for 13 weeks. We'd rerun the show with reruns. Then we'd do season 2. So we got 42 episodes in the can, and then the wheels fell off economically. It's very expensive to put out a weekly show like that, and we lost a couple of our major sponsors, and the wheels just kind of fell off. My energy levels, it just took a lot out of me.
Wow.
So basically the show had been kind of in hiatus. And, of course, what Bob mentioned, we met when he very first got out of prison at a normal conference in San Francisco in 2009. And I was very admirable of his work. I mean, his story is just an amazing story and one that literally brought tears to my eyes. And, he did some great work with his Grandma tour in terms of, getting the show placed. No one wanted to put my show on, even though it was pretty tame. We never show any recreational use of the plant. They still, ban the show. In fact, we can't get on today in the state of Washington or the state of Colorado, where cannabis is supposed to be legal recreationally. So, Bobby Tuna just did a great job with the media buying, and so it's just kind of a no-brainer that we aligned with each other to help get this message out.
Excellent. So, Bobby, where are we going to be able to see Cannabis Planet TV when it premieres, and how many more markets have you got your eyes set on?
Right now, we're going to be able to see Cannabis Planet TV in L.A. On KJLA. We're going to see it in Eugene, Oregon on KEVU TV. We're going to see it in several towns in Texas, on Fox at KFXK. We're going to get it in Miami on WHDT TV. We're going to get it all through central Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Lancaster, York, Lebanon, on MeTV, that's Family 49, WGCB, and another Texas station, KETK in East Texas. It's going to be on starting in April in Boston, and in El Paso, KDBC TV.
Wow.
Of Lafayette, Louisiana, KLAF TV. Baton Rouge, KZUP TV. Another Baton Rouge area station, WBRL TV. So we're on NBC and CW in Baton Rouge. And we haven't posted it on our website yet, but everybody in the world is going to be able to see the show on Saturdays at 7 p.m. on the live feed from WHD TV.
Wow.
And all they have to do is go to WHDT.net, and they'll actually see the live broadcast of a new show every Saturday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Wow.
But you'll be able to get that all over the world. Everybody can see the show at the same time if you don't get it on a broadcast station in your area.
Holy cannabis, that's news to me, Platshorn.
No kidding. This is amazing. I mean, getting us into the middle of Pennsylvania and into Louisiana, this is fantastic news. And of course, getting it on the terrestrial stations is so important, because while the information's out there on the internet and people can look stuff up, they have to look it up. TV's a passive thing. Someone could be just sitting there flipping through channels, and bam, next thing you know, Brad Lane's in their face. How exciting is this, Brad?
Very, very, very excited. Now, let's clarify. I'm not in their face. I've got trained professionals bringing this message to the table. I'm just behind the scenes, Russell.
Of course. Brad Lane's production in their face, I guess I should have said.
Booyah. We're really excited. Cannabis Planet 4.2 is what we're calling it. It's actually, a lot of people notice show number 1. It's actually our 43rd show, but it's better than we've ever put anything out. It costs a lot of money to put out network TV, millions of dollars, and we're obviously doing it on thousands of dollars. So we've gotten better and better and better at trying to put out a package that, looks palatable and sounds palatable and looks like network TV. So we're not quite there, but we're pretty darn close, and we're looking forward to everyone tuning in and hopefully enjoying what we're putting out there. We
had people in the chat room there asking, is there any place to binge on the previous 42 episodes?
Yeah, that's a great question. From our website, cannabisplanet.tv, we'll be releasing that work. It's all been pulled down, but it will be re-released via our website, cannabisplanet.tv.
Okay, good. I want to make sure people got that website, because I'm sure the listing that Bobby just read out will probably be posted up there as well for people that want to tune in.
Absolutely. And, we're just real excited. We've got some real, what we've tried to do with the show is interview the most brilliant minds on the planet regarding this plant, from a scientific standpoint, from a medical standpoint, from an industrial hemp standpoint. Russ, do you know there's nanotechnology where they're using superconductors for electricity out of the hemp plant?
Fantastic news. I did not know that.
I didn't either. It blew my mind. We just came from Washington, D.C. last week, where they're having an industrial hemp conference. And, I thought I knew a lot about the plant, but my mind continues to be blown day after day with the amazing, amazing potential of this plant.
Yeah, we're going to get so much information out there on Cannabis Planet TV. Check it out, cannabisplanet.tv on the net. And another one of our chatters wants to know, will Ed Rosenthal and Chef Mike be back?
Chef Mike will be back. And Ed, as well as Ken Estes, we're not doing a cultivation segment right off the bat, and that's because we're redoing the whole show in HD, and we didn't have enough HD garden footage of Ed and Ken Estes and Jorge Cervantes. So we're going to be kind of doing a host by committee on the cultivation side. So if people periodically tune into our website, they'll have updates on that. Chef Mike is back in full force. In fact, he's doing a Thanksgiving feast for show number 1, which is Thanksgiving weekend.
All right. I'm looking forward to seeing these episodes as they come up online. And, I got my friends just south of me in Eugene. Looks like they get to watch it on TV, so that's pretty cool. Let's go back to Robert real quick. If you got any final things you want to tell the audience about Cannabis Planet TV, or, give us an update on Silver Tour.
First of all, before I forget, CannabisPlanet.tv is the website. And if you go to Find Us on TV, you'll get all the station listings, the times of broadcasts. On the Pennsylvania station, we're on at 10:30 at night, and we're on again at 1 in the morning or midnight. All those time listings are on our website if you go to the section that says Find Us on TV. The Silver Tour just finished running Grandma in Rochester, Minnesota for almost 2 months, and right now there are several groups that are putting on auditorium showings of Should Grandma Smoke Pot. It was in the local papers today. They'll be doing it up in the middle of the state in Florida, and they're using it in Australia and in England and up in northern Pennsylvania. And that's most of what's going on with the Silver Tour. I've been busy with the new book, Greed and Evil. I've been involved in what you were talking about earlier, the legalization effort here in Florida, and the anti-campaign is just winding up for a big hit. There was an article in the Palm Beach Post, an opinion piece written by the sheriff, who doesn't want to lose about $2 million in federal funding and confiscation jackpots that have been going to the local sheriff's department. And so he's spouting the Partnership for Drug-Free America line and claiming there'll be pot shops on every corner, and we're going to replace all the heroin addicts. And, this place was famous for pill mills. They claim we're going to replace the pill mills with pot shops. But it's all nonsense. The latest polls show that we're over 80% in favor of medical marijuana here, and we're going to get it one way or another. We've got the Kathy Jordan bill, and we got the bill that you're talking about, that you talked about earlier, that Barbie doll Bondi, that's Pam Bondi, they call her the Barbie doll here in Florida, that she's been opposing because of the language that anyone, she claims anyone can get it. And of course, that's not how it's written, and that's not what it was meant. The bill was written by the man who's considered the constitutional expert here in Florida for the state constitution. And it's really well crafted. It will pass.
Yeah, and, mentioning the opposition that's gearing up and your book that's coming out soon, Greed and Evil, that piece in the Miami Herald about the 82% poll mentions the Republican opposition being funded strongly by Mel Sembler. Can you give us a little book preview on who Mel Sembler is for the people that don't know?
Mel and Betty Sembler were the people behind DARE, Partnership for Drug-Free America, Drug-Free America Foundation, and SOS, Save Our Society. They're all come out of the same post office box in Tampa, Florida. Strangely, where we've got our greatest support for legalization. And Mel and Betty Sembler originally started with an organization called Straight Incorporated that was a chain of drug rehab centers that were most famous for the fact that the children were kidnapped, tortured, raped. They were put out of business after dozens and dozens of lawsuits. They were prosecuted by U.S. attorneys and forced to close all the straight rehab centers. Mel Sembler, of course, is the man who bought himself an ambassadorship to Italy and another one. He's a shopping center magnate here in Florida, strip centers, and he's probably got more lawsuits against him. I list over 100 lawsuits in my book against the Semblers for what they did with Straight Incorporated. And their other partner, Calvina Fay, is a make-believe professor who claims to be a professor at an Argentine university where she's never been a professor. And she made her millions with drug testing in the workplace. She had two companies that made a fortune with drug testing in the workplace. She claims to have sold them, but we can't find any record of the sale. And believe me, I've looked. This is a book of fact, and the Semblers and Calvina Fay are the first several chapters. What these people have done is just unconscionable.
Yeah.
And most of their money has actually come from the three major pharmaceutical companies that distribute almost all of the opiate medicines sold in the entire world. And I list them by names and how much they've paid to keep Partnership for Drug-Free America and SOS in business.
Yeah, it's an important book, folks. It's coming out soon, Greed and Evil, from Robert Platshorn, who's also with the Silver Tour, thesilvertour.org, Should Grandma Smoke Pot, trying to educate seniors on the need to change our marijuana laws. And, of course, Cannabis Planet TV, cannabisplanet.tv, and it's, what did you say, Saturday at 7 Eastern Time, if people want to watch it online there?
Yes, Saturday at Eastern Time, 7 p.m., and they can watch it on WHDT.net. That is a worldwide live stream.
Right on. And Brad?
Yeah, Russell, I just wanted to mention the reason I teamed with Bobby T is, for a lot of reasons. Number one, he's the longest serving federal prisoner of the drug war, and it's a travesty what happened to him. And what we're trying to do with our show is end cannabis prohibition. So I thought there was obviously a lot of synergy there. And, of course, what he's done with the Silver Two and Grandma Smokes Pot, there's a lot of synergy there as well. So, as you know, or as your listeners probably know, the Silver Two is a 501c tax-free company. So if anyone wants to make a donation to see Cannabis Planet and the Silver Two propagated and put on the air in more and more states, because that's our goal, is to continue to make media buys and continue to put this programming out there. We put the money into Bob's 501c, then Bob, which is a tax-free donation for your listeners, and then Bob in turn goes and buys airspace to put our programming on the air. So there's a lot of synergy what we're doing, and we like to urge all your listeners to support Cannabis Planet, support the Silver Tour, and help us make media buys to get this message out there to end prohibition.
All right, that's great news. CannabisPlanet.tv. Thanks, both of you. Robert Platshorn and Brad Lane, we'll be in touch with you, and we'll keep everyone posted on Cannabis Planet. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Russell. Everybody. Love to talk to you.
All right, when we come back, we'll have time for a radical rant on parents' marijuana groups and one very important issue that I'd like to know where they stand on. Be right back.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.